Welcome back to Entertainment Tonight. We're here in Sydney, Australia. No, we're not. We're on Time+Tide. Don't change the channel. We are lucky enough to have a third year of Chris Hemsworth. We're going to meet the man tonight. We're going to talk watches. We're also going to see the Museum in Motion concept in action tonight. TAG Heuer have shipped some of the rarest ever Carrera models here, including one from 1963. Really special stuff for watch lovers. We've got the red carpet behind us. We've got the action everywhere. Let's get started. Welcome to my bat cave. Today I've invited you here to break down one of the broadest collections in all of watches, the TAG Heuer Carrera. And I'm going to do this not by interpretive dance, but by using Chris Hemsworth. And this is a mental hack that actually works for me, so listen carefully. 3 movies that explain the 3 pillars of the Carrera collection. Movie number 1, James Hunt and Roche. Now this evokes the original Heuer Carrera from 1963 and the heritage line that followed. Number 2, we have the contemporary Carreras of the 2000s. To me, this is Kurt Vaughn from Cabin in the Woods. It's a bit like a traditional horror movie, but very contemporary and different. Number 3, the modern Carrera, the Thor Carrera. Obviously, larger, bolder, bigger than any other watch on the market just about. Let's look into it in more detail. Number 1, the Heritage Carrera, which I liken to James Hunt because they were from the same golden era. The Carrera was first released in 1963 at Basel, and Jack Heuer loved this watch. He loved the name Carrera, and he loved the reception it got. It was an instant hit for its clean design and its celebrated part in motorsports at that time. And the watch I've chosen to demonstrate this from the modern collection is the Carrera Caliber 18 Telemeter. Now this is a note perfect reissue. Note the combination of glass box sapphire crystal, a sunburst panda dial, and a polished steel case with those big fat beveled lugs, as well as chunky retro indices that have nice facets on it to reflect the light. Now the second Carrera pillar is what I call the contemporary Carreras, and these are in no way re-editions of historical models. They're modern adaptations in much the same way as Cabin in the Woods and Chris's character Kurt Vaughn is a modern adaptation of a horror film. Somewhat traditional, but then very, very different as the story goes on. And the model I've chosen today to explore to demonstrate this is the 2018 Caliber 16 chronograph. Let's dig a little deeper. While the Caliber 16 has all the vintage feels of an original Carrera, it has many modern touches that make it harder wearing and better for everyday use, including a ceramic bezel embedded with a tacky scale, 100 meters water resistance, and a more contemporary 41mm size. Last but certainly not least is what I call the Thor Pillar of the Carrera range, which are watches like the Heuer 01, the Heuer 02T, the Heuer 02 GMT. Now these are supersized watches for superhero people. They are skeletonized, avant-garde, structural lugs, lots of touches that make them not just modern but futuristic. And the watch I've chosen to demonstrate this is the Heuer 02T with that big beautiful tourbillon right at 6. Yes, this watch looks out of this world, but it also happens to house possibly the most cherished of all complications, the flying tourbillon at 6. It also has a chronograph, which is the CH80 movement. Overall, this combines as the very expression of TAG Heuer's high-end horology. Some of our readers picked up on the fact that you were wearing an Octavia at the tennis. And I'm curious about when you pick a vintage model versus a modern model and when you go into the draw.
Well, I just received that watch. It was one that I was kind of begging for and managed to get a hold of. I just like to cycle through them, you know, and wear the various ones at all occasions. I love the Carrera 01. I probably wear that the most because the rubber band aspect to it. I can surf with and train and do all sorts of things, and seems to hold up against the abuse I give it.
Well, that's one way to understand one of the broadest collections in watches. Cheers to Chris Hemsworth. Cheers to TAG Heuer.